This is BTV Business Television.
Welcome to BTV Business Television. I'm Jessica Kachachak.
And I'm Taylor Tone. So in 1998, Business Television was on the air for just a year, and gold was just over $250 per ounce.
Wow. Well, gold just passed $3,000. That's over 1,100% growth. Investors have long trusted gold as a hedge against inflation and safety during uncertain economic times.
And although not to the same extent, copper and silver have also seen massive price increases, all featured on today's show.
It'll be our largest and lowest cost gold mine with about 400,000 ounces of gold per year.
We're focused on really high-grade gold and antimony in New Zealand because it's the best in the world.
We'd be the largest silver producer in Canada and the 5th largest in North America.
And why are investors so bullish on commodities? Writer Byron King sums it up.
People are looking for safety, and there is safety in metal. There's safety in high-grade ore deposits. There's safety in companies that know how to extract them in jurisdictions where you can actually work and get it done.
Give me a location where mining is welcomed, there's a strong focus on sustainability and growth, it's safe, and they've been mining for over 100 years. Did Ghana come to mind?
You know, I've worked around the world. I've worked obviously Canada, United States, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, Ecuador, and of course East Africa. For me, Ghana is just about the easiest place I've ever worked. Everything works. It's a welcoming community, security is good, the rule of law is good. From year to year, it's very, very stable.
And having experience in the region is also a big asset.
I've been in the mining business about 45 years, building and operating mines in East and West Africa, ultimately as a COO for Barrick in East Africa and as a CEO for Asante Gold in West Africa. Asante Gold, we have about 1,500 people on staff. 4 of those people are expats. Everybody else in the company is Ghanaian. Gold has been mined in Ghana for over 100 years, and the ability to execute projects in Ghana reflects that. Asante Gold came out of a long history as an exploration company. We pivoted in 2021 to becoming an operating company. We acquired Bibiani Mine, did a refurbishment, and then acquired Chirano Mine. The 2 mines are linked in terms of their land package, so we control about 80 kilometers of highly prospective and highly productive gold structures. Last year we produced around 200,000 ounces. This year we'll produce about 355,000 ounces. We are ramping up the company to get to 500,000 ounces a year by 2028.
For President and CEO Dave Anthony, the next step is to enhance and maximize the value of his existing assets.
We did the refurbishment in 2021-22. It needs a fair amount of stripping to get at the ore body in a profitable way. We're also going underground later this year to extend the mine life out beyond 2035. We've been busy raising funds so that we can expand Bibiani Mine. We were successful at the end of last year, bringing in about 160 million. That's been put to good use on the ground. We're accelerating gold production, accelerating dirt movement at Bibiani Mine, and it's starting to pay off in a very big way. So we're really looking forward to a significant increase in profitability, significant increase in gold production at Bibiani. The mining is a key driver for the economy, and any adjustments to the regime or any adjustments to how things are done is done in consultation with the Minerals Commission and the Chamber of Mines. For me, it's a very stable, very welcoming place to be.
Asante completes an ESG audit every year performed by Digby, a recognized expert. And they are very proud of their A rating.
Thesis Gold is on a mission to uncover the next big gold discovery near British Columbia's legendary Golden Triangle. With a top-tier team and high-grade potential, they're turning exploration into opportunity.
Thesis is focused on our Lawyers Ranch project. It's an advanced stage exploration development asset in north central British Columbia. It's a gold-silver epithermal system where we've advanced it through to about 4.7 million gold equivalent ounces and put out a PEA on the project last year. After using pretty conservative commodity prices as well, 1930 gold and 24 silver gave us an after-tax NPV of 1.3 billion, 35% IRR with a 2-year payback. So you can imagine how good those numbers are today with spot prices where they are. The production profile is about 215,000 gold equivalent ounces a year for a 14-year mine life.
With gold prices near record highs, the addition of substantial silver reserves makes the opportunity even more exciting. And the amount of silver is staggering.
About a quarter of the value is actually in silver. And if we were to go into production today, we'd be the largest silver producer in Canada and the 5th largest in North America. We're working on the PFS that's on track for completion in Q4 this year. Permitting is going to begin in the middle of this year. And then we're also looking at doing a significant exploration program this summer, a ton of upside to keep building on what we have, but also for the district to continue expanding and growing.
With the support of local First Nations, Thesis Gold is continuing the move towards further de-risking the project with an eye on eventual production.
Coming up on BTV, rising commodity prices creates opportunity.
Study shows a project which is very robust at $2,100 gold, and you see that gold is flirting with $3,000 per ounce.
We'll be right back. You're watching BTV.
Next, we're joined by Brian Quast from BMO. Brian, how do you see the current state at the top of the gold mining industry?
As a group, not individually, but as a group, they are kind of ex-growth right now. So these emerging producers either are growing in to become senior producers, so that growth sort of changes the ranks in the senior producer space, or the senior producers that are currently incumbent have to buy those companies to get growth back into their portfolio.
Well, one would think that the senior companies are dominating exploration. Would you say that's the case?
One of the things that's been noticed over particularly the last 2 decades is that these senior producers are not particularly good at finding deposits. They're decent at investing in deposits and then building them, but they're not particularly good at finding them with their own drill crews.
Thanks, Brian. What if the next big gold discovery is just beneath your feet? US Gold Corp is exploring this possibility with 3 of their projects in Nevada, Idaho, and in Wyoming.
What we decided to do with the CK Gold project is we knew that we had 1 million ounces of gold and 260 million pounds of copper. And rather than just drilling for the sake of drilling, we decided to conserve shareholder capital and put a value proposition around what we have, and then ensure that we could actually get the permit associated with the project. So we've done that. We now are fully permitted, and we know that the resource continues below the current operation, and we have a good trend to the southeast. So we know that the resources are going to grow.
In terms of ESG mining, US Gold has a simple plan on 2 fronts.
Initially, we're looking at a 10-year mine plan. We're going to be mining an open pit mine. It's just like the quarry just down the road, so they're familiar with the kind of mining that we're going to do. We're going to generate a concentrate. That concentrate will be shipped off-site to a concentrator. So really, there are no emissions on site. In our part of the world, Western United States, water is a very precious commodity. So we're going to employ dry stack tailings to store the ground material that, once we've extracted the copper and gold mineralization, and then conserve and then put the land back to the way it was.
The second part involves the sale of some valuable debris from the mine site.
We've identified that the rock that we're going to be mining is good for our own purposes, but we can also sell the rock to our local market along the Colorado Front Range. We can create a win-win situation with the state of Wyoming, pay them a royalty for the rock, and also generate income from the rock, which would otherwise just be reclaimed and revegetated.
There has been substantial work on a feasibility study for the CK project.
The study shows a project which is very robust at $2,100 gold and $410 copper. And you see that gold is flirting with $3,000 per ounce and $450. So as we look at the economics associated with the project, our project pays back in less than 2 years. And at this point of the game, we've taken the risk off the table associated with permitting.
There is much optimism surrounding the CK Gold asset in a state that wants mining.
Wyoming, a great jurisdiction. We know the rules of the game there. Great support from the authorities and local population. Great time to have an asset ready to go.
You can check out their other projects in Idaho and Nevada on their website at usgoldcorp.com.
In mining, the biggest breakthroughs often come when you least expect them, and that's exactly what happened with Bunker Hill's zinc and silver mine. After more than a century of operation, this legendary site still had deposits waiting to be uncovered.
The restart of Bunker Hill is actually an example of what's possible. We're doing it in an environmentally friendly way, restarting in a historic mining district and revitalizing a community in the Silver Valley in northern Idaho. The Bunker Hill mine is in construction and will be producing a zinc concentrate and a lead and silver concentrate, both of which will be going to the Teck smelter in Trail, British Columbia for processing.
This is a timely find, as both zinc and silver are on the U.S. critical metals list.
Zinc is a key component of galvanization. Lead and silver both are used in the battery industry. Silver is in an interesting nexus between precious and industrial use, with the solar industry using increasingly large amounts of silver.
And with the help of an industry giant, operations are moving forward quickly.
We have just completed a transformational financing for the company, bringing in a large strategic partner in Teck Metals. And this really sets the stage for the company as we move from a developer into production, and is a strong vote of confidence that the project is on track, technically sound, and significantly de-risked at this point.
Bunker Hill is poised for a resurgence, leveraging its rich history to become a key player in the future of American zinc and silver production.
Next up, another commodity investors are betting on, but what the heck is antimony?
Antimony is really important, and everyone's talking about it all of a sudden because its spot price has gone up 5x in the last 18 months.
We'll be right back. You're watching BTV.
New Zealand is a very modern jurisdiction. Contract law is sacrosanct. We're reinvigorating our mining sector. We're hoping to double exports over the next 10 years. We're going to redeem the name of mining and re-legitimize the mineral sector because it has suffered.
In the mining industry, the term double threat is not commonly used. However, this describes Rua Gold perfectly. Not only do they have two significant projects in New Zealand, they also have two much sought-after commodities.
Rua Gold's a New Zealand exploration company. We're focused on really high-grade gold and antimony in New Zealand. We're in that jurisdiction because it's the best in the world. In 2025, we're focused on drilling, and we're going to build ounces in our inventory. We already have a few 100,000 gold ounces, 10,000 tons of antimony proven up, and we're going to build on that. We're looking to close 2025 with 1 million ounces, up to 1.5 million ounces. In New Zealand, where we are, it's very high-grade gold. We're talking 20 grams a ton intercepts. We've had 30 gram a ton intercepts. That's 30 times the global average, and it's a gold antimony deposit.
With the global antimony shortage, Rua Gold has shifted part of its focus.
Antimony is really important, and everyone's talking about it all of a sudden because its spot price has gone up 5x in the last 18 months. Chinese have banned this export of it as of August last year. So it's now one of the most critical minerals in the world because they control all the supply, and we're sitting on New Zealand's antimony deposit. Antimony is used as a hardener, and so it's used in munitions, it's used in all shell casings, Kevlar, things like that, but it's also part of the EV revolution. Everyone's chasing us to get hold of our antimony. You've got the New Zealand angle, and New Zealand wants us there.
New Zealand's stance on mining is rapidly shifting under a new government direction.
We've got legislative changes to fast-track permitting, so you can get a mine permit in New Zealand in 6 months. Essentially, on the critical minerals list in New Zealand is gold, is antimony, and even metallurgical coal. Obviously, there's infrastructure, there's skilled labor, everyone in the community we're in has some connection with mining, but also the government wants us there. We have a really light environmental footprint. We're only going to be underground miners in New Zealand, and so the New Zealand government want us. We're going to be a leading example of how you can mine responsibly in New Zealand and really get everyone on side that mining and the environment can work symbiotically.
2 drills are currently turning with the help of some mining innovation.
We're using AI in a big way in our company. We've partnered with Verify. They've got an amazing AI product whereby we can accelerate our drill targeting using the huge data set we have and process that in a very quick amount of time.
Historically, Rua's team developed 8 mines, realized $11 billion in exits, and raised over $2.2 billion in capital.
We're not just explorationists. We've built mines before. This management and board have done it many times over, and that's what we're here to do again.
With the addition of antimony, Rua Gold is continuing its strategic exploration in New Zealand.
In 2022, central banks purchased a record amount of gold. With us now is George Heppel, VP of Commodity Research with BMO. George, what is driving their interest?
I think the best way to think about central banks are as a very long-term, very risk-averse investor. When you think about that, gold becomes a very attractive investment asset for them to hold. So we're definitely seeing a stronger incidence of investor interest in gold for inflation hedge, and also as a safe haven as well in the event of geopolitical tension and turmoil.
When it comes to gold mining, economic viability is driven by 3 key factors: low-cost mining methods, large-scale resources with expansion potential, and access to infrastructure. Liberty Gold has shown it has all 3 at its flagship project in southeast Idaho.
The Great Basin in the US is home to some of the premier gold deposits in the entire world. Most of the US gold production comes out of there. Black Pine is our flagship oxide gold asset. It's located in southern Idaho, and it is a 5 to 8 million ounce gold system. It's a previously mined site. It was mined in the 90s. We picked it up in 2016, and since then we've drilled somewhere over 1,000 drill holes. We've taken it from basically no resource to just under 5 million ounces. And we've completed a pre-feasibility study late last year, which shows a very positive economic outcome for an open pit run-of-mine heap leach operation. We submitted the mine plan of operations. That's the document that starts the whole US formal mine permitting process.
Liberty Gold was exploring their second asset, Gold Strike in Utah, where antimony was a known occurrence. However, the focus had long been on defining and expanding the oxide gold resource. The renewed attention to this critical mineral has COO John Gilligan delighted.
We're pretty excited about that. I think it gives a bit of a twist to the Liberty Gold oxide gold story. Antimony is a metal that has basically 2 applications, mostly used in fire retardants, but the interest in antimony is its role in munitions. It's used as a metal that case hardens shells. And we've known that we had antimony mineralization associated with the gold on the flanks of this structure. So last year we went into the field and we were very successful. We found some high-grade mineralization on surface. We've done 3 rounds of field work and we're pretty confident that we've got ourselves a high-grade antimony mine.
Liberty has proposed a spin-out of Gold Strike Antimony Ridge, hopefully sometime in the 3rd quarter of 2025, while continuing to pursue the development of Black Pine.
As we surface that into a new company and that has its own value, Liberty shareholders will own a piece of that, There will be a cross-holding from Liberty Company into the new mine. And so Liberty shareholders will have that opportunity to get exposure to the growing interest in critical minerals. We are very focused on building shareholder value by taking Black Pine through the engineering process and through the permitting process to go to a construction decision and build that mine. And we see that as the vehicle for value uplift for Liberty shareholders.
Whether it's advancing Black Pine towards construction or recognizing the strategic potential of antimony, Liberty Gold is clearly focused on the path forward.
We'll be right back. You're watching BTV.
Equinox Gold is a growth-focused producer operating entirely in the Americas. 7 years ago, they began a growth journey that is quickly becoming the envy of gold producers worldwide, with 6 producing mines and counting.
Our flagship mine is the Greenstone mine in Ontario, Canada. We finished construction at the end of 2023, poured first gold in May 2024, commercial production in November 2024. So now we're ramping Greenstone up to capacity, and when at capacity, it'll be our largest and lowest cost gold mine with about 400,000 ounces of gold per year.
With 5 more operating mines, 1 in California, 1 in Mexico, and 3 in Brazil, Equinox Gold produced more than 620,000 ounces of gold in 2024. And as if that wasn't enough, Equinox Gold and Calibre Mining have announced plans for a merger. The combined company will produce over 1 million ounces per year at all-time high gold prices.
It's an exceptional opportunity to create this significant Canadian gold producer with all of the other upside from the assets in the Americas, in Latin America. There's about 41 mid-tier gold producers in the world right now, all competing for shareholder dollars, for eyeballs, for assets. This will catapult us into that sort of senior tier producer range where there's only 8 companies in the world in that sort of $4 to $10 billion market cap. Only 4 of those are traded in North America. So will it immediately make us more interesting and attractive to institutional investors? It's really going to be this very diversified gold producer with operations in 5 very mining-friendly jurisdictions, much greater scale, a much greater presence in the capital markets, and all of that production growth that's going to drive significant cash flow.
You can follow results of their merger shareholder vote on their website. They're at equinoxgold.com.
As you move up the wealth curve, do you have access to various investment products and strategies that are exclusive to your wealth category?
There's a lot of different strategies, access to different investments, and levels of guidance that come when somebody goes from, let's say, an investor with $1 million to invest versus $25 million to invest. As you move up the wealth curve, there's more importance placed on tax planning, wealth and estate planning, insurance, obviously investment management and wealth management. There's specific access to different investment groups that you get better pricing, more exclusive access to different products and services. You also probably at the end of the day get more access to some wealth and estate planning services along with philanthropic, because people that are wealthier tend to be more philanthropic. So there's a lot of different services that can come into play when your capital level goes up.
Well, investors, commodities offer a timely hedge against inflation.
And with market uncertainty, all commodities from critical minerals to precious metals are poised for strong returns this year.
Thanks for joining us today. For BTV, I'm Jessica Katrachak.
And I'm Taylor Tone. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Business Television for the latest interviews on companies in the markets. And until next time, may your portfolio prosper.